What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I have a load here on my trailer. I came back by the house because I had a little bit of issue with my truck. I'll show you guys this here and see what you think about it. Does that look familiar or what? I am certainly glad I am not the one that paid $400 a piece for these supposedly really good shocks, because yeah, it doesn't seem really good to me. That is the second one that I've had that broke the top off of it. And you guys probably remember that video. It was on the front, and I replaced it with a set of Gabriel shocks, which is probably exactly what I'm going to do here. I don't know if anybody has any shocks in stock, or see, these shocks here are supposed to be super stiff, and the deal is, it's supposed to, they claim they're stiffer and they're supposed to improve the ride, keep the axle from hopping or whatever. And yeah, they self-destruct because they're so stiff that the roads I go over, being rough as they are, it breaks the top off of them apparently. So I'm not a fan of them. I think I would get a better ride with a softer shock like the Gabriels are. They're cheaper. They're like 60 or 70 bucks a piece. Compared to these, this guy told me that I bought this truck from, he paid like $400 a piece for these. These are supposedly rebuildable, but yeah, I'm not wasting any money on them. I'm not a fan of them because, as you can see, when the top breaks off of them, the end breaks off your shock. That's not good. And technically, you know, I could have went ahead and took this load, but I'm not going to drive something like that I know it's a problem with. I'm going to get it corrected. I may pull this off and weld the end back on there if I can't get a shock. I may have to do that for right now till I can get some in. I'll check tomorrow and see. Everything's closed right now. I'm gonna check tomorrow and see what my options are and go from there, I suppose. But probably what's going to happen is I'm going to have to order a set of shocks. I'm just going to go ahead and order all four for the rear, because I've already put the two on the front. They're new, and I'll get these off here because this is a second shock. I thought when it happened on the front, the first may have been just kind of a fluke thing, but obviously it's not, because this is the second one that's done it. So I might as well go ahead and replace the rest of them, and that way we'll be done with that issue, hopefully. So while having a missing shock on air suspension is probably not the end of the world, because it's not like a coil spring that's going to bounce as much. In fact, I didn't even know, you know, either case this had happened, that anything was wrong until I stopped and was checking things out and just happened to spot it. But the problem is it could potentially puncture the airbag, and then you do have a serious problem. Or if you get pulled over for roadside inspection, I'm pretty sure that that's probably out of service. I don't know that for sure, but I feel like it would be for having a shock hanging like that. All right, guys, so I have got a brand new set of Gabriel Fleet Line shocks here. 85098 is the part number. Link in the description if I remember. You know, I don't know how great these shocks are or whatever, but they got to be better than what's on there. Hopefully they're not as stiff and it'll ride a little better. It'll be great. I don't know if the easiest way to get these off is going to be to pull the tires off, or if I can get down there and then get to that. I mean, I think I can get to it. It's just a matter of is it going to be easier, or is it better just to pull the tires off? I'm going to see how much trouble I have getting down there and getting them broke loose. I think I can get an impact wrench on the inside there and maybe hold the outside with the back up, the bolts in. The bolt will come out that way, and try it with the tires on it. And if it looks like it's going to be kind of frustrating, I'll go ahead and pull the tires off. The front axle is going to be even worse because you have to get in between the two axles. But anyway, this is the shock right here that broke, and I just kind of welded it up, or welded it back in there, so that I could get that load delivered. And I've taken a few days off. I think things are slowing down a little bit. Look like looking at the loads, available loads And so anyway, I'm taking a few days off and try to get a little rest and, you know, do a little work on my truck and whatnot. So get these shocks and see if we can start getting put on there. So I think the shocks here on the rear axle is going to be fairly simple to get to. 15/16 wrench with the Milwaukee 2767. Put the link in the description if I remember, if you're interested in something like that. And let's see. Yep, we got her on the high setting there. I can get it to fit over in here. Got the nut off. The bolt is sitting there turning now. We can get it to back out. I think that may be a metric. That 15/16 is a little bit tight on there, but it'll work. I don't think I got a metric wrench quite that big. I bet that bolt is froze inside that shock bushing, and there's a good chance I'm going to have to remove the tires in order to get a punch on the end of that bolt and drive the bolt out. I thought it was going to be easy. Maybe not so much. See how the top one goes. Top one's going to go fairly well. See if it'll spin on out of there. So, now it's a matter of getting the bottom one out. Get a pry bar and stick down in there and see what that does. Sometimes you can get a pry bar on the bolt and then use the impact wrench to spin the bolt, and it will it'll come out, but I don't know that this is going to be one of those deals. It's froze up in the bushing down there. I'm going to have to pull the tires off and then take a hammer and a punch or something. I may just have to beat the bolt out. Milwaukee 2864, 3/4 inch. Link in the description if you're interested. Let's see if that gives us enough room there where we can get to that and do something. I'm gonna try smacking it with a brass hammer to start with. No success there. We'll move up a notch. Well, that's not good. Guess I'll have to put a little bit of heat on it. I hate to put some heat on it because it's shock. If it gets hot, there's a chance it can blow up. Alright, so I had to cut the bottom bolt off on this shock that was right here. I could not get the bolt out. It's froze up in the shock bushing. So I cut it off with a Matabo wheel and a combination of a Sawzall. Got it whacked off of there. I knocked my camera over in the process, but I've got that one there on the front and this one here on the back. The bolts come out of them pretty easily. Didn't really have to fight those. And so the one on the front on the other side is going to be like this one here looks like. So I'm going to put these tires back on here, go around, jack up the front on that side, remove those tires like I did here so I can get room and try to get in there to either get that bolt knocked out if it's not too bad, or I'm going to have to whack it off. And I got some more bolts out here out of my other truck. I'm just pulling those out, the one I cut off. So stick these tires back on there and we'll get around to the other side. All right guys, there is the old ones right there laying on the floor. The first one that I did, the one at the end broke off of, was the one that I had issues with. Could not get the bolt out of the bushing there, had to cut it off. Two of them came out pretty easily. They had anti-seize on them. I could see just a little bit of remnants of it on there. They came right out without taking the tires off. The one on the front side over here, on the driver's side front, I had to pull the tires off on it in order to get the bolt out. It wasn't in there bad. I hit it just lightly with a hammer, a couple licks, a brass hammer, and it knocked out. And then I took another bolt and drove it on the rest of the way out. It wasn't bad at all. So I've got all four of them on there, and I think I'm gonna go in the house and take a little break. It is hot out here, and maybe take me a little nap since I didn't sleep real good last night. So anyway, wrap this video up and then we'll get started on the next thing that we're gonna do. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.